Good day, everybody. I'm Poornima Mohandas, and I run product marketing for tech.com. I'm a product marketing consultant based out of Bangalore. Thank you for coming to this session. This session is from a practitioner's standpoint. This is based on my own experience running a project to build a microsite while at Caldas Cloud, which is now part of SAP. So welcome to this session on how to build a killer product microsite. Just to give you a backgrounder on myself, I have about 14 years of experience. I started off as a business journalist, turned into a product marketer. And people often ask me how I made that transition. And I say it's really all about telling a good story. I have been responsible for incredibly successful enterprise SaaS products in the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as more nascent products in the Indian startup ecosystem. I run product marketing for tech.com, and I'm a product marketing consultant based out of Bangalore, India. So what's on the agenda for today? We're going to start off with the basics. What is a product microsite? We'll go through some examples, make sure you understand how it's different from a product page. Then we'll look at whether you really need one or not. Not everybody needs one. What are some of the triggers you should look for to decide whether to transition from one to the other? And what kind of benefits can you expect to have? Then we'll look at the most interesting part of the presentation, which is really about how to make it a killer and make it really impactful with your audience. So let's start with the basics. What is it? What the heck is a product microsite? Simply put, it's just a set of web pages that are really well connected to each other, and it's a subset of your main website, right? And you can have microsite for different purposes. It can be to promote an event, it can be dedicated to a product, it can be to run a customer contest, you name it. But for the rest of this presentation, we are going to focus on the what, the why, and the how of product microsites. So let's talk through an example. There are plenty of examples out there. I really like the Salesforce Sales Cloud example. They have a lot of, they have packed it with so much information. It's really rich. And, if you're looking for anything, you will find it there. Right on the navigation bar, it'll guide you to different features. It'll target different buyer personas, give you FAQs, customer stories, pricing, you name it. It's all there. It's very pleasing on the eye too, well designed, lots of white space, attractive screenshots, and their endearing mascot is everywhere. Now let's look at a product page example. This is a sales enablement platform called MindTickle, and they use a product page approach. And it basically leads you to a demo request page. Now keep in mind there are separate pages for pricing, for integrations, etc., but they're not tightly integrated right from the top navigation bar like a microsite would be, right? It's more loosely connected and not that cohesive. So what's really the difference between a product page and product microsite? Now, product microsite is very multi-layered. It's very rich. It's exhaustive in terms of its content. There are several interconnected pages, one leading to another, and it can talk to multiple buyer personas, right? Through separate pages, you can use distinct language, distinct messaging, and with a product page, you're really only trying to create awareness. But in terms of a microsite, you're trying to create awareness and really turn your leads into active prospects. Now, the biggest difference is in terms of measurability, right? In a product page, you're really confined to how many people visited the product page and time spent on page. But in a microsite, the possibilities are endless. You can look at pages visited, time spent on each page, what is the navigation path, where is the drop-off happening, number of downloads, number of people who use the ROI calculator. There's a wealth of information you can collect from your leads. Now, this is a practitioner's pro tip. You always want to start with a product page, right? This is what we did at Caldas Cloud as well. We had a product page and it became so lengthy. You had to scroll and scroll and scroll to really find those nuggets of information. And then we realized there was just too much content and too much product updates happening that we had to really migrate to a microsite. So I'd really advise everybody to start off with a product page, run with it until you outgrow it, right? You have so much content and so much innovation happening in your product that you really require a product microsite. So why should you care about it? I mean, what are the is it really for everyone? It really isn't. I mean, if you're a single product company, you're probably thinking, hey, maybe I don't need a microsite. But think about it. Even a single product company like Slack has a feature page that connects to 10 other pages. So they've made that into a really comprehensive microsite. So let's look at how do you decide whether a microsite is right for you or not. Look at whether any of these situations resonate with you, right? You have to talk to multiple buyer personas. Just yesterday, I was talking to this company wherein they wanted to go after not just, sales operations managers, they wanted to target product owners as well as L&D managers. Now, for such a situation, a microsite would work wonders because you can have separate pages that talk to your different buyers, offer them separate messaging and relevant benefits and a language that resonates with those audiences. A situation two would be if you're not getting enough inbound leads, right? You're just not getting enough traffic. You need to put more content and build awareness around your product and your market. Another situation would be if customers don't understand your product and what is the value that you provide. So it can really help you build awareness around your product as well as your category. Situation four would be if sales faces the same objections time and again, right? They have to answer the same questions time and again. It makes sense to put it out there and direct your leads to that section of the microsite. So all those initial questions are out of the way and they can have more meaningful conversations with sales. At Caldas Cloud, we encountered this situation, which is situation 5 of having several products. And you really want to put the spotlight on product B. And a microsite is a great way to do that. Now let's look at what can a microsite do for you. What kind of benefits can you expect to have if you develop a microsite, right? You put in a lot of effort into it. You really got to realize some benefits. So one is clearly building awareness. You can build awareness about not just your product, but your entire category. And when people search for questions, they search for solutions, your product will automatically get discovered more because there's just so much more content out there. You can use it to educate your buyers so that your selling time significantly reduces. Get all those initial questions and initial top of mind questions out of the way. Get them answered right off the bat. Plus, think of this as a long-term play. It's a long-term investment, especially great to do at this point in time. Product marketers are all trying to deliver value to the organization and really spend time on high visibility projects. So a microsite is a wonderful project for this time. Also because your customers are not ready to buy. They want to, this works as a great way to educate them more, get them aware about the market and about why you're the best product in town, so that when they're ready to buy, they remember you and they come to you. Now, before you get started, there are a few things that you want to have in place. Number one is you need to know your product and your customers inside out, right? You need to know why your customers buy and why they buy you. what they see differentiated between you and your competition. So you really need to know your strengths and your competition's weaknesses, because these are all the messages that you really want to highlight in your messaging. And that's the way it's going to be really impactful and resonate with your audience. Now, don't worry if you don't have all of that intellectual capital accumulated. Just wait a few quarters. As you build it up, you can, definitely go for this project. So I would never advise a microsite project for someone who is new to product marketing or new to a company. Plus, you want to build it as a collaborative project, right? This is a big lift. It's going to involve everybody in marketing and even sales. So you'll need support from content, you'll need support from digital, demand gen, design, you name it. So you need the buy-in of the entire marketing team. So start off with making a high-level presentation. Put together your high-level message, your target audience, your goals, what are the metrics you will measure, and present it to your manager and the rest of the team leads. Try to see what is the kind of feedback you're getting. Is there buy-in? Can you convince them into this project, right? Once you have everybody's buy-in, then you can go ahead and execute on it. You want to have your product positioning in place. This is your foundational material that you are going to build on. Your messaging, your positioning has to all derive from your positioning documents. So this should all be set in stone when you're starting off. You want a library of customer case studies, because this is really important, and it's a separate, if you don't already have it, it's a separate project in itself, which is going to take you a couple of quarters just to get that up. So have all of that in place before you get started. You want to plan for content updates. Are you going to, you're going to update this on a 6-monthly basis or a 12-monthly basis based on how fast your product and your market is evolving? You also want to look at performance metrics. What are some of the key metrics that you're going to measure in order to make sure this is a success? Now, once you have all those prerequisites in place, let's talk about the most interesting part, which is how to make your microsite a killer. Page structure. Now, you want to spend time on this because this is how your microsite is going to be organized. You want to make it really simple and intuitive for your audience. Whiteboard it out with your product marketing team, get everybody's thoughts going and brainstorm, come up with different ideas, look at what makes sense, right? Do you want to divide your pages by persona or by key capabilities and benefits, or maybe a combination of these as well? Just to make that a little less abstract, let's talk through an example. Say company A sells online sales coaching product to small businesses. Their key buyer is the head of sales and their influencer is the CFO. Now, both these personas have separate problems. So you want to go after them with separate messages. To the head of sales, he or she really cares about, how many of his or her, their reps are attaining quota. So your message should really be about how your product delivers higher sales quota attainment, maybe pushes it up from 50% to 70%. Whereas for a CFO, he or she really cares about dollars, saving dollars. They're concerned about the high cost of training, travel, in-person coaching, all of that, right? So there your message is probably around how your online product can completely eliminate travel and deliver a 30% reduction in cost. Now, apart from this, your product also delivers several great benefits such as ease of use, robust reporting and dashboarding, increased accountability, superior analytics, you name it, right? You have a multitude of benefits. Now, oftentimes, product marketers struggle with how do you kind of prioritize all these different benefits? A super simple way to think about it is think of it from the customer's point of view. What does a customer really care about? And talk about only those. Now, in this example, I would suggest you organize your pages by start with a buyer based persona based pages, one for the CFO and another for the head of sales, and have multiple pages around the key benefits that your product delivers. Another great ingredient to add to your microsite is an FAQ section, right? Get all those initial questions out of the way. Work with sales to develop this. Sales and inside sales will give you a wealth of information about all the questions they normally encounter. Record that, develop great answers to it, and keep updating it. Right? Make sure sales uses this FAQ section. Anytime a particular question comes up, they can divert the lead to that FAQ section and really make use of it. And once you keep it updated, it can be a rich repository of information. Plus, it's great for SEO because you can link to different sections of your website for more detailed information. Now you can see a screenshot I attached for my website, productmarketingfortech.com, wherein I address all those top of mind questions like what is product marketing? How is it different from product management? When should I hire a product marketing manager? What are the key responsibilities of a product marketing manager, etc. And I make it a point to link to all the different sections of my website. Some other pieces that you really want to have in your microsite, one would be an ROI calculator. Now, you probably have this already in some form or shape. Your sales uses a spreadsheet-based ROI calculator to show their prospects when they're pretty deep down in the funnel, bottom of the funnel, to demonstrate the value that your product can offer. Take that spreadsheet and simplify it. Really dumb it down, make it easy for a lead who comes to your website to use it without any guidance, and let them see the quantifiable benefits your product can deliver. Customer stories. This is really key because this is where your social proof comes in. So you want to strew this all over your microsite. Plenty of customer photographs, customer quotes, video testimonials, case studies, you name it. Product collateral. This is really important to educate your audience. All the brochures that you have, brochures, feature sheets, 1-minute demo videos, product webinars, product white papers, use all of that and make the majority of them ungated so that prospects can freely learn about your product, right? Don't make it hard for them. CTAs, click to actions, have a collection of them. Now you probably have a lot of assets already. Just bring them all together, right? It might be in some Google Drive, it might be in SharePoint or in the resources section of your website. Don't make it hard for your leads to find it. Just place it as CTAs at the bottom of every page. So that every time a lead comes to your website, they learn something and they deepen the engagement and they take away something to remember you by. And these can be, white papers, ebooks, infographics, you name it, anything, even analyst reports. This is a great place to place analyst reports because you're giving your customers unbiased third-party opinion for them to learn more about not just your product, but even the marketplace. So then your website really becomes a credible source of authoritative information to educate your audience. Now, in conclusion, I want to just leave you with a few points that I'd like you to take away. A product microsite can help you talk to multiple buyer personas. So if you have multiple buyers that you're going after, this is definitely an approach to take. Plus, it gives you oodles to measure, lots of milestones that you can measure from number of pages visited to number of downloads to drop off to visitor navigation path, you name it. Before you get started, please remember this is a big lift. It's not for everyone. You have to know your audience before you get started. You have to know why they buy and why they buy from you to get your messaging spot on. You want to make your microsite really exhaustive. Give them plenty of educational material. Let them learn about the category as well as your product. Let them see why you stand apart from your competition. Give them, make your product come alive with plenty of human stories, from your customers and even third-party analyst opinion, so that your customer comes to your website and leaves educated. Educated not just about your product, but about the entire marketplace. And that's when you build credibility in their eyes. With that, I'd like to thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you found this session useful. Once again, I'm Poornima Mohandas and I run product marketing for tech.com. If you have any questions or feedback, or if you want to just reach out and chat about your microsite strategy, please reach out to me at Poornima at productmarketingfortech.com, and have a wonderful day.